So today I'm gonna show you how to cut salmon to use it in sushi. We start up by taking off the head, so cut the head part from either side of the salmon. Basically you can use this salmon head to make a soup. The soup is really delicious. If you want, I can explain in future how to make the soup with from this salmon head. Here I'm gonna turn it around. This is the comfortable way for me, but you can also cut it from either side, like whichever you feel is comfortable for you. So the next step will be cutting the salmon into half. So for this you have to place the knife just above the bone. There will be the bone at the middle part of the salmon, so make sure you place it just above the bone, and the knife should be always facing straight, not too down, not too up. Otherwise it will be difficult, or you're gonna damage the salmon. Our next step will be to remove the salmon which are lying on top of the bones. You see, you can use this salmon to make tartar salmon, or also for different kind of roll. Now I'm going to remove the middle part of the bone from the salmon. While doing this, we have to make sure that this knife is not facing downward, because it will damage the salmon. Again, I'm removing the salmon which are left over on top of these bones. So now I'm just gonna cut a little bit on the tail side so I can hold it, and it makes really easy to work. Now I'm gonna clean all the dirty part of the salmon. While cleaning, please make sure you don't cut the good part of the salmon. If you are a beginner, you can do it very slow. So our next step will be taking out the bones from the salmon. So while you are taking out this bone, you have to be very careful. You can do slowly, but make sure you take it out everything. Make sure it doesn't break at the middle, because if it breaks, then later what happens when we are trying to make it sashimi, uh, if our knives are really sharp, sometimes this bone can go with sashimi, and when the people eat, the bone can be left in the sashimi part, which is really not good. So make sure you do slowly, but take it out all the bones, and not to break it in the middle. Now again, I'm gonna clean the stomach part of the salmon. This part is usually used for the nigiri. And again, make sure the knife is not facing too much towards the salmon. That means too much towards downward, because you can damage the salmon part. Now I'm gonna cut the salmon in half. Right now I'm just measuring, because to make sure later when I'm making nigiri, it's the proper size. So now I'm gonna do the same as the other part of the salmon. I'm gonna clean this all and take out all the bones. Now I'm gonna do the fillet of the salmon. You can use different techniques, like everybody has their own techniques, but this is the easiest way to take out the fillet. And the remaining part of this, which is the salmon which is attached to the skin, you can always use those salmon to make other different kinds of roll, like hot roll. So I'm gonna do the same here. I'm gonna take out the fillet, which is this is the stomach part, which we use it for nigiri, and another part is for the sashimi. So now this is the stomach part of the salmon, which we cleaned before. Now I'm using 4 finger measurement here because, like I said, this is the standard size of nigiri. So here now I'm cutting nigiri, and while cutting nigiri you have to be careful because it should not be too thin or too thick. If it's too thin, the shape of nigiri will not look good, and if it's too thick, again the shape will not be good. So it has to be a right size, which is not too thin or too thick. It should be thinner than sashimi, but not too thin. Okay, because when you keep the rice and try to make the shape of the nigiri, if it's too thin it will look awful. So this part is from the other side of the stomach, which we use for sashimi. Now I'm cutting the edge of the either side because to make sure from top to bottom the size of the sashimi looks the same, and also because mostly the side part they are really fragile, so like it might look broken when you cut the sashimi. So if you cut it off, it will give a nice firm, so it will look good. On next video I'm gonna focus on how to cut sashimi and how to cut nigiri. Thank you for watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe and press the like button. I will be back with more videos like this.